When you hit your 30s, something weird happens. You wake up one day and realize time is moving faster than you thought. But at the same time, you're finally old enough for people to take you seriously. And the crazy part, most people never use that to their advantage. They still think like they did at 22. They think success is about working harder, grinding longer, or waiting for the right time to magically show up. But the truth is, if you're over 30, you're actually sitting on the biggest advantage in the financial world, and almost nobody sees it. Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jeff Baxter, and on this channel, you're gonna talk about life, entrepreneurship, and of course, business funding. My team and I have helped thousands of startups get access to millions of dollars in funding over the years. So if you need help getting 100K or more in capital, then be sure to tap the link below after watching this video. Now, with that being said, let's dive into it. Now, most people hit 30 and think they're late to start a business, late to invest, late to change their situation. But lenders don't see you as late. They see you as stable. They see you as trustworthy. And that's exactly why people in their 30s and 40s get approved for more capital than people in their 20s every single day. Think about it. When you're 19, nobody trusted you with a $20 bill. Now, the banks look at you like, okay, they've had a job, they've had bills, they've had life experiences. We can probably trust them with credit. You've spent your entire life proving you're reliable without even realizing that's what you were doing. But if you never use that trust, you just let it sit there. You don't grow it. You don't multiply it. You just keep grinding and hoping that something changes. And that's why I wanted to make this video. Because if you're 30 or older, I want you to understand something that most people never figure out. Your age isn't a disadvantage, it's leverage. And if you don't use it, you're wasting the one advantage you already earned. Let me ask you this. How long have you been working? How many bills have you paid on time? How many responsibilities have you handled without falling apart? How many times have you said, man, if I just had extra capital, I'd be so much further ahead. And yet the one moment banks are actually willing to give you capital, you don't ask for it. You don't know the right strategies. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know what to say. You don't know what to avoid, what to structure, or which banks are giving out the best terms. So you keep doing what everyone else does. You rely on your income. You rely on your savings. You rely on just working your way up. But let me tell you something. As someone who's helped thousands of people get funded, people who try to save their way to freedom almost never get there. People who leverage capital are the ones who build wealth faster. Now, I know what some of you guys might be thinking, Jeff, I'm grown. I've got real responsibilities. I don't have time to take big risks. And I get it. But here's the part nobody tells you. You're actually less risky to lenders because you're older. Age is a credibility badge. You've had more years of financial behavior, more data, more predictability. Do you realize how many 30-plus-year-olds qualify for huge amounts of funding but never apply? It's not that they get denied, they don't even start. They think it's too late or too complicated or not for them. Meanwhile, someone else your age is getting 50K, 80K, 150K in capital just because they decided to try. And so let's talk about life for a second, because a lot of people hit 30 and feel like that window of opportunity is shrinking. They feel behind. They see people online buying homes, starting businesses, flipping properties, traveling, building investments. They think, man, I wish I had done that earlier. But the truth is, most of the people doing those things didn't start until after 30. So you're not late, you're actually right on time. The only difference is some people figured out how money actually works. See, in your 20s, you try to make money by working more. So you trade your time for money, right? In your 30s, you're supposed to make money by accessing capital and putting it to work for you. That's the shift that people miss. That's the shift schools never taught. That's the shift that most families never learned. You see, banks don't reward hard workers. They reward responsible adults with good credit. And if you're 30 plus, chances are you could qualify for way more than you think. The problem is nobody teaches you to think like that. Instead, you're told to be safe. You're told to wait. You're told to earn it the slow way. But what's the slow way? The slow way is working 40 years. The slow way is sacrificing your time. The slow way is letting your back get tired while your dreams get smaller. Meanwhile, the people who learn how to use capital build things faster. They take fewer risks and create freedom earlier in life. Now, let me ask you something. If you had access to an extra 50K, would your life be better? Would your stress levels be lower? Would your goals move faster? Would your business or investment ideas finally take off? Would you finally have breathing room? Would you finally stop feeling like you're stuck? You see, most people's answer is yes, but they never make the move. They keep waiting and waiting and waiting until one day they're 47, 57. 77, staring in the mirror thinking, what if I had started back when I thought I was too old? Now, let me talk to my 30 plus crowd directly. Listen, you're not old, you're seasoned, you're experienced, you're trusted, and you're at a point in life where your decisions matter way more. Meaning, this is actually the perfect time to leverage capital. Most of the clients I help aren't 21-year-olds, they're grown adults who finally realized if I don't take control now, another 10 years will go by. They're tired of relying on one paycheck, tired of inflation eating their income, tired of watching people younger than them win online because they took one step that they didn't take. And here's the thing, you don't need a perfect situation. You don't need an age LLC that's 10 plus years old. You don't need millions of dollars in revenue. You don't need investors. You see, most people I get funded are regular people with jobs, families, responsibilities, and normal lives. The only difference is they learned how the banks actually work and they acted on it. Now, let me tell you why the banks love people over 30. It's simple. Patterns. Banks study your habits, your payments, your consistency. They like people who've been through real life, people who've had bills, people who've worked, people who've managed credit responsibly, people with history. And the older you get, the more history you have. That's something called leverage, but only if you use it. You see, one of the biggest mistakes adults make is thinking, if I didn't start in my 20s, I missed my chance. No. Your 20s were for learning. Your 30s are for building. Your 40s are for scaling. And your 50s are for harvesting. That's the real timeline that nobody talks about. But you don't get there if you stay in survival mode forever. Now, let me explain something that changed my life. When you're young, you trade your time for money. When you're older, you're supposed to take credit for opportunity. That's how the wealthy do it. They don't wait, they leverage. They use their age as proof that they're reliable, and the banks reward them for it. So the question is, why aren't more people doing this? It's because they don't know what we know. They don't know the process. They don't know the strategies. They don't know how to approach lenders the right way. They don't know which banks are generous and which ones are stingy. And the sad part is most of them won't even try to learn. They'll keep grinding. They'll keep worrying. They'll keep hoping that their boss sees their value and gives them a raise. You see, they'll see other people succeeding and think to themselves, it must be nice. You see, nothing changes until you change your approach. And if you're 30 or older, the door is open wider for you than you think. You just need the right strategy and the right team helping you. And listen, I've watched people in their mid-30s go from stressed to confident in 60 days because they finally accessed the capital that they qualified for years ago. I've watched couples in their 40s finally start the business that they talked about for over a decade. I've watched single parents finally get breathing room because they got approvals that they thought were impossible. You know what they always say? I wish I had done this sooner. So let me end with this. Your 30s, 40s, 50s, heck, even 70s aren't the end. They're the cheat code. They're the moment in life where you're still young enough to build something big, but old enough to be trusted with the resources to do it. You've already earned the credibility. You just need to use it. And if you're someone who wants help getting access to business funding, whether it's for a startup, a new idea, or scaling something you already have, this is literally what my team does every single day. We've helped thousands of people get approvals that they didn't know were possible. So if you want to see how much funding you could potentially qualify for, tap that link below and book a call with my team. God bless, and I'll talk with you guys soon.